So Trump dropped the F-bomb. He drops the F-bomb live on TV. I was laughing so hard, I almost fell off my bed. Now, I live in a small apartment, so my bed's my couch, my lounge area, my table. Yes, I'm humble, folk. So at any rate, this reminded me of, by the way, welcome back to the channel, Culture Confederacy here. It's Wednesday night, so happy Wednesday, everybody. But I'm in a good mood because tomorrow's my 48th birthday, so happy birthday to me. But that just made my day. Seeing Trump use the F word. He's talking to reporters and he said, you know, you've got two countries who have been fighting for so long that they don't know what the F they're doing. Seriously, I was about ready to fall off my bed. But you can see Trump's frustrated here. But this did remind me of that Bill Clinton clip where Rush said, let's put it on a loop for 20 minutes and people will still come back for more. Do that with Trump dropping the F-bomb. Put on a loop for 20 minutes or put on a loop for 10 minutes and people would still be coming back for more because it's that good. But I want to focus on Trump's frustration and the lack of our Congress and even the executive, no matter who's in office, to deal with this situation in the Middle East head on. If you want to stop the fighting between Israel and Iran, whatever the country is, you gotta give them a what for. Quit sitting there in D.C. on your dead asses doing nothing. With this pie-in-the-sky idea that somehow spreading democracy or peace across the globe is going to solve things. Nowhere in the Constitution, and I looked at the Constitution again before I started the video here, went through it with a fine-tooth comb, pardon me, nowhere in the Constitution does it say that we are required to spread democracy across the globe, police the world, or have political parties. Nowhere. And Trump does not have the unilateral power to go into a place like Iran and take out these nuclear sites because it's not really a threat to us. Now, if Iran were, sending out these warnings or threats to the United States, to our government, that would be one thing. That isn't the case here. This is a conflict between Israel and Iran. Let Israel and Iran duke it out. And if they want to kill each other off, let them kill each other off. The world would be a better place without these people. Now, that may sound harsh, but we need a little tough love here. That's the only way these people are going to learn. And I've got nothing against anybody. We have a lot of great immigrants, I said before, who came over from that part of the world, who've contributed to our society. Good people. But my issue isn't with the people of these countries, it's with the governments of these countries. If these governments want to kill each other off, let them kill each other off. No skin off my nose. And that's the approach that our government needs to take. But for some odd reason, you people in Congress, the executive branch, they can't think that way. They can't think outside the box. So I'm going to go over what the congressional powers regarding calling up the armed forces during war is, the executive branch is power regarding war, talk about the War Powers Resolution of 1973, which was implemented after Nixon had stepped down. But this was fun to watch. See Trump use the F-bomb. Trump, you don't have to be frustrated. Just get on the TV tomorrow or on the horn with these people in the Middle East and tell them, hey, get along or we're not doing business with you. Rally Congress behind you, hold a press conference tomorrow, and say either you get along or we're not doing business with you. 30 days from now, we're getting out of the Middle East and you guys are on your own. That's how you handle it. But no, we can't think outside the box because we're lazy in D.C. And I saw Mike Johnson tonight on Megyn Kelly show. And of course, he was reading the Republican script with this big, beautiful bill. How much money in that big, beautiful bill is going to go for helping Israel or Iran? We're trying to appease these two countries to get them to stop fighting. All this wasteful spending. Nobody asked me to vote on this, and I'm an American citizen. So let's get to the topic at hand. Thank you for letting me rant. But again, I am in a good mood. So what does the Constitution have to say about congressional war powers or presidential war powers? But let's start from the beginning, the preamble. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, not for a foreign nation, but for us, the United States, ensure domestic tranquility, again, not for another nation like Israel or Iran, but for us, provide for the common defense for us, promote the general welfare for us, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. That means we, the people, and our children, and our children's children, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. Nowhere in the statement does it say we have to be the policemen of the world. We have to spread democracy across the globe. Congress, Donald Trump, executive branch. Pardon me again. So let's go first with the president. Powers of the president. And this is in, I believe, Article 2, Section 2. It says here, the president shall be commander-in-chief of the Army and Navy of the United States. Notice it doesn't say he has the ability to declare war. He shall be the commander-in-chief of the Army and Navy of the United States and of the militia of the several states when called into the actual service of the United States. He may require the opinion in writing of the principal officer in each of the executive departments upon any subject relating to the duties of the respective offices, and he shall have power to grant reprieves and pardons for offenses against the United States, except in cases of impeachment. Goes on to say he shall have the power by and with the advice and consent of the Senate to make treaties, provided two-thirds of the senators present concur. Sometimes when you're reading this stuff, your mind processes it a different way than what the words, or how the words really written. And he shall nominate and by with the advice and consent of the Senate shall appoint ambassadors of the public ministers, consuls, judges of the Supreme Court, etc., etc. The power to fill up all vacancies that may appear or may happen during the recess of the Senate. So those are the powers of the president. But before I get to the powers of Congress, I'm going to go over this war powers resolution that happened in 1973, or was passed in 1973, just after Nixon resigned. Declares that it's the purpose of this act to fulfill the intent of the framers of the Constitution of the United States and ensure that the collective judgment of both the Congress and the President will apply to the introduction of the armed forces of the United States in hostilities or in situations where intimate involvement in hostilities is clearly indicated by the circumstances. So where it's a direct threat to us, that's when we should be getting involved. That's when the President should act. Not unilaterally going into Iran and taking out these nuclear strikes because, pardon me again, we think that it's going to be a threat. You need solid evidence here that it's going to be an actual threat to the United States. But somehow they've sent out the message that they're going to attack the United States. That's when the president should act, with the consent of Congress. Also requires that the president shall in every possible instance consult with Congress before introducing United States armed forces into hostilities or into situations where intimate involvement is clearly indicated by the circumstances. And provides that in the absence of a declaration of war by the Congress in any case in which the armed forces of the United States are introduced into hostilities, or in situations where intimate involvement in hostilities is clearly indicated by the circumstances, etc., etc., that shall be reported within 48 hours in writing by the President to the Speaker of the House of Representatives and then the President pro tempore of the Senate, together with a full account of the circumstances under which such hostilities were initiated. Don't you wish they'd stop using such long language here? Or long sentences? Hey, you people in Congress, you don't have to be so wordy. Just say 2 or 3 sentences and be done with it. Well, we can't do that because, again, we can't think outside the box. So that's the War Resolution of 1973. War Powers Resolution, 1973. But Article 1 talks about the powers of Congress. Article 1, Section 8. To declare war, grant letters of marque and reprisal, and make rules concerning captures on land and water. To raise and support armies, but no appropriation of money to that you shall be for a longer term than 2 years. Pardon me. Throat's giving me fits tonight, so. To provide and maintain a navy, to make rules for the government and regulation of the land and naval forces. Provide for calling forth the militia to execute the laws of the Union. Suppress insurrections and repel invasions. But this is key. Not the President, but Congress has the power to provide for organizing, arming, disciplining the militia, and for governing such part of them as may be employed in the service of the United States, reserving to the states respectively the appointment of the officers and the authority of training the militia according to the discipline described by Congress. So Congress declares war. Congress provides for organizing, arming, and disciplining the militia. Not the President. Yes, the President's the commander-in-chief, but again, he can't unilaterally go into Iran and bomb the hell out of these nuclear sites because he feels like it. He's got to get approval from Congress first. But this whole situation, again, with the Middle East can be avoided if you people would think outside the box and tell these people to go pound sand, and you're not doing business with them until they learn to get along. No immigration to our country from your country. No trade. No financial aid. You're cut off. Until that happens, nothing's going to change in the Middle East. No matter how many Trump F-bombs Trump launches on TV. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, you know what to do. You can follow me at Instagram, #JasonComposes, because I write music in my spare time. You can find me at X, Culture Confederacy, at Culture Confed1 on X. Now you can find me at Substack. So thank you for being with me. This is the Culture Confederacy saying peace out. Stay safe, everybody. As you know, we do these in one take. They are what they are, these videos. But I'll catch you next time. God bless this thing called the United States, and y'all have a great Wednesday night. Take care.